Hello, ladies. Today I want to talk about something that is deeply important to me, both personally and professionally: dating for marriage and long term commitment. We live in a culture that constantly tells women that casual sex, situationships, and emotional detachment are empowering. That could be fine, that could be neutral, we could see it how we want it. That could be only a preference. Yes, we could say that. But I want to be very clear from the beginning. Just because something is normalized does not mean it is healthy. And just because something is common does not mean it is good. Biologically, energetically, or morally. I don't speak about dating and relationships from judgment because I was there myself. I was believing that these things were good myself. So I'm no one to judge. I speak from truth, responsibility, and long term consequences of these behaviors, especially for women who want marriage, family, and a meaningful legacy. So I will go a little bit deeper on what biology actually says about sex, bonding, and commitment. First, humans are not designed for casual intimacy without consequences. Yes, you had it right. We can say all that we want, that we are animals, that is no different. Yes, we are animals, yes, of course, but we are not designed for this casual intimacy without consequences. You can see very clearly why. Our babies are very, they cannot survive one day alone. So obviously we need this support. So you will understand why. So from a biological perspective, sexual intimacy activates powerful neurochemical processes, especially oxytocin, dopamine, and vasopressin, which are responsible for bonding, attachment, trust, and emotional imprinting. Oxytocin is not neutral. It is not just pleasure. It is a bonding hormone that evolved to create pair bonds, cooperation, and stability for the offspring. This offspring that needs us so much, in our case, humans. Research shows that romantic bonding and long-term attachment are deeply rooted in our neurobiology. These mechanisms evolved to support family structures and shared responsibilities. This is not ideology, it is science. It's also my ideology, of course, but what I'm talking about, what I am almost fully quoting here, is science. So let's get a bit deeper into it. When intimacy happens repeatedly without commitment, these bonding systems become confused and fragmented, especially in women, whose nervous systems are more relationally oriented. So the studies consistently are showing that sexual restraint and intentional partner selection correlates with higher relationship satisfaction, stability, and marital happiness later in life. So no, biologically speaking, casual sex is not just a lifestyle choice. It has measurable emotional, psychological, and relational cost. And why is this "it's fine if you want it" narrative is completely misleading? So one of the biggest lies of modern culture is moral relativism. The idea that something is good simply because someone says it. Well, if it feels right for you, then it's right. That's just your truth. Who am I to judge? This could be classical moral relativism. But truth does not change based on opinion. So, from a consciousness perspective, this moral relativism calibrates very low energetically. This you can check in any books of Dr. Hawkins, who is regulating, telling us a specific number for every emotion, for everything, like moral relativism. He talks about everything and he gives actually a scientific calibration of the energetics of every emotion and everything that is going around us, philosophically and ethically speaking. What are some of the consequences? It dissolves responsibility, destroys trust, and erodes family structures. And we can see the results everywhere. Like we see a lot of unstable relationship, chronic dissatisfaction, emotional numbness, fatherless homes, women who feel disconnected from themselves, like you see it everywhere. And the current culture of situationships and casual intimacy thrives on this low calibration mindset. If it's right for you, then it's right. This I don't care. But yeah, actually, our bodies cares, our mind cares, our energy cares. Yeah. So, yeah, I personally do not subscribe to that worldview personally. Not because of fear, not because of repression, but because I value truth, structure, and long-term well-being over short-term gratification. And here we are going to another topic that is super interesting and super important, which probably most of us did not realize until not so long ago. But it is true. I did not know. I had no idea when I was 20 years old. It took me 30 years to realize because I really did not have this transmission from my mother. Because when my mother was young, she had direct transmission. Their influence were not strange movies, strange soap operas of people sleeping all together, all the time. No, her role models were her mother, her aunts, family, from where she saw the natural thing. So they don't know. I mean, they think, okay, I give my daughter freedom. But nowadays we cannot give freedom because giving freedom means someone else will take and educate them, like movies, TV, everywhere, They will be taught by the incorrect sources. That's why nowadays we need to take this role back. Our mothers didn't know that it would be so messy. So probably they did not teach us. If they did, oh, you are so lucky. You are so lucky. In my case, no, because why would she? She does not know. She learned this naturally. She would think I would learn it naturally, but I had too many distractions, too many influences around me. And I am millennial, I did not even grow up with this social media craziness. I cannot imagine a kid growing up nowadays and their only education, moral education is coming from school and social media. I cannot, I don't know. This must be crazy, really. I hope they really get the guidance from parents. They really need it. So, the important fact here, women, they are the guardians of life, energy, and legacy. And women are not the same as men biologically or energetically. When a woman bonds sexually, her body releases hormones that reduce critical assessment of the partner. This is not a flaw. It is a protective mechanism, but nowadays it looks like a bit more like a flaw, but it is actually very intelligent, very wise. It is protective mechanism on its own. So this protective mechanism is designed to support pregnancy, bonding, and child rearing. Nature assumes that intimacy may lead to life. That means the woman is biologically encouraged to attach, to stay, to protect the bond when they have sex, immediately after. This is why promiscuity is especially harmful to women. It can cause women to remain emotionally tied to men who are not aligned with their values, their future family vision, or their life purpose. Women are guardians of DNA, lineage, and legacy. Being selective is not control, it is wisdom. Because if we go around sleeping and making babies with guys who are not ready for it, who will not take care, who don't have the brains for it, then what will happen with our future generation? What will happen with our grandsons and granddaughters? What will happen? So we should really avoid this, basically. And we are the guardians of the DNA. We need to be selective. We need to bond with men who we can admire, who really are doing things, We cannot be everything, the breadwinners, the child career, everything. We need to choose properly. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing dating coaching, really. Not just to tell you to dress nicely and yeah, this is very cool, but basically it's for protection. We need to protect our species, basically, nothing more. And yeah, what can I tell you a little bit about my personal experience? I've been telling you already a little bit, but I want to be honest with you so that you know I'm not here to judge you. Because true, I was never extremely promiscuous. No, I was not. Around my circle, I saw, some women already when they were 13, 14, doing all kinds of things. That is not me. No, I was never the extremely promiscuous. But I did have periods, where I slept with men I had no intention of building a life with. Especially after a long abusive relationship that I had for 5 years. When I was, very disconnected from my center after that. And yeah, of course, I regret that. I had this little period. Somehow I had to experience, so I could tell you that, this brings nothing, And yeah, it's not that I'm ashamed of that, but because I feel the energetic and emotional cost afterwards. Yeah, it's really confusion, attachment without alignment, and a subtle loss of self-respect even. And that experience taught me something crucial. My body, my heart, and my future deserve coherence. And that is why I do dating coaching today, like I was telling you, because I don't want you to do these mistakes. If you can avoid them, good. And if you want to heal from them because you did them already, I want to help you too, so that you know there is another path from there, really. So, my lady, my queen, if marriage and family are your goals, this is the foundation. Clear non-negotiables, delayed intimacy until alignment is clear, until marriage or until real commitment, preferably until marriage, please, because don't give this. If you give this, then you are losing already. And yeah, this emotional safety before physical closeness, it is very important. And when a woman is clear, calm, and self-respecting, men feel it immediately. And with this behavior, you will really kick out any man who is not really up for that, who is really not ready for that. So yeah, the ones who are not aligned, they will remove themselves so easily. You will benefit from this so much on a practical level. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to convince them. Clarity does the filtering, and this is your clarity. That's why everything that I'm teaching in this video, you need to have very clear. Just watch it from time to time, write it down, whatever you choose, but you need to have this very clear in your mind, all of these topics we were talking about today. And yeah, so that is all for today. The only thing I would say is a culture shift starts with you. And casual dating culture tells women to disconnect from consequence. Dating for marriage, on the contrary, asks women to rise into responsibility, discernment, and dignity. One path leads to fragmentation. The other builds families, stability, and legacy. So choose consciously, choose wisely, choose in alignment with who you want to become and the children and future you are shaping. Thank you for watching.